So, if you guys haven't seen over the last couple of days, Henry Cavill built himself a computer. And I was kind of like, that's pretty cool. And then I opened up YouTube, and then I saw that Kyle made a video reacting to it. And then I saw how many views it got. And I went, well, I'm an immature man-child according to the internet, so why not just copy the guy? Although we're not going to actually copy it, we're going to actually talk about something with some substance.
Wow! Wow, that was rough.
Love you, Kyle. Micro Center is a great place to get the best deals on the latest in PC tech, but it's also a great place to share your build with other PC enthusiasts. Now you can showcase your build with other members of the Micro Center online community, or check out hundreds of community member builds and photos for excellent ideas for your future rigs using the Custom Builds Showcase. To see all that Micro Center has to offer for your next upgrade or build, follow the link in the description below. So it's kind of funny, this whole Henry Cavill thing about building a computer, and this video's topic is actually not going to be about Henry Cavill building his computer, but it sort of triggered this whole idea, and it's got me thinking, and this is going to be really all over the place, but I think you guys will like the message that I'm going to try and portray today. This whole thing with Henry Cavill and a computer actually started months ago, where he did an interview, I think it was with HBO, I don't remember who it was with, but I think, whatever. He did an interview with somebody about The Witcher. Now, The Witcher, if you guys don't know, although it's become a huge popular series on TV, a lot of people enjoying The Witcher on TV don't know it's based on a game, which is also based on novels. And it's one of those things where he specifically said in that video, or that interview, that he was a huge fan of the franchise of Witcher, specifically the games. And when they asked him, okay, gotta ask, Xbox or PlayStation, he responded, oh, PC. Even the interviewer was like, whoa, I didn't see that one coming. And then he was like, do you build your own PC? And he's like, I haven't, but I hope to soon. When that interview happened, my inbox exploded because I somehow became the celebrity whisperer. And it was never intended. Like, I somehow became the guy everyone goes to try and build a celebrity or computer. And that's not what I want to be. In fact, I even turned down some celebrity builds because I didn't like the stigma that was kind of coming along with it of Jay only builds computers for famous people. And as you guys haven't noticed, I've done a lot of builds since the Terry Crews and Post Malone build, specifically for regular people and people who I felt deserved it and weren't able to provide computers for themselves. So I had a lot more reward doing that. But moving on, a couple of days ago, Henry Cavill, who does not have a Twitter, by the way, I would have reached out to him and offered to build him some sort of a custom themed Witcher PC, but I have zero way to get a hold of him. And he's all the way in the UK, and if you haven't noticed, there's a pandemic happening, and getting into the UK or from the UK to here, although he spends a lot of time in the USA because he's a very famous actor, is very difficult. And I don't think it would have been easy. Not to mention getting a PC of like the way I would want to build it back to the UK without being damaged would be very difficult. It would require crating and peanuts, and I don't know if he's allergic to peanuts. No, packing peanuts. Okay, stupid joke. I get it, dad joke. But I digress. It just wasn't feasible. And I kind of let it go because he said he wanted to build it himself, and that's what he did. He's got a very, very popular Instagram account with millions of followers, and he put up a 5-minute some odd second video of him building a computer, and it didn't go perfectly. However, he got it going, and his cable management was better than many people's that I've seen, including my own on some builds that I do too quickly. And he looks like a kid on Christmas. He is super happy. But when it comes to building computers for celebrities, I happen to think I know a thing or two about building computers for celebrities.
Sir, cheers, boys. Let's get
All right,
it on.
let's take a look.
Heck yeah, boy!
It's museum quality, which is nuts. It kind of represents me because, for one, I'm very, very crazy and wild, but I also like to be refined, and I'm very serious. This thing really typifies that. You see the seriousness, but then you see the fun.
Now, the topic of today's video, as you guys can see in the title, is why are celebrities getting involved in computers? And why didn't Henry Cavill ask me to build him one? That's simple. He didn't want to wait a year for it. Man, I feel like where we are today in terms of celebrities being involved in live streaming, PC gaming, I think celebrities have always had consoles and stuff, but it was just like everyone had consoles and never really talked about it or anything. But this is kind of a multi-pronged, and I always use the fork reference because I like food and I'm a fatty. I feel like there's multiple prongs to this, and it was layers of transitions happening in society that got us to where we are today. Let's go all the way back to when I was in elementary school. Man, times were different. Teachers could spank you. I had a computer when I was 5. That's how old I was when I had my first computer that was my own. It was a Commodore 64, and then from there I ended up having like a 286. No, I had an XT18, I don't remember. Anyway, I had a 286, and then 386, and 486, and Pentium 1, and like I've always had computers ever since then. And what's funny is right around that time, when I was 8 years old, the Nintendo Entertainment System launched. And that was when consoles became really more mainstream. Of course, there was some television and Atari, but Nintendo really mainstreamed the gaming on a TV, if you will. I even had to do the little like adapter that plugs into the antenna so that you could fake the antenna signal to the TV because there was no cable.
Channel 3, right?
Yeah, or 4 because I had a little adjuster. Oh, yeah. But when I was in elementary school, having a computer was not cool in the least. In fact, everyone looked at you as like, I like computers, you know, and I like homework and math and science, and I don't like girls. Anyway, you guys get the point. That was the way people looked at those that were super into computers all the way until I was in college. I'm not even kidding. If you had a computer, you were considered a nerd, a dork, not cool, not invited to the parties or any of that. And you know what, to be fair, there was a very clear divide between the nerds and the jocks. In fact, I even think that there was like a TV series about it. My point is there was a computer nerd. There was a specific stigma with being a computer nerd. And there was this line drawn, and you were either cool or a computer nerd. Of course, there was other types of uncool, but I'm talking about specifically computers, obviously. Now, as we've moved forward, PC gaming has kind of done this in terms of popularity. Over the last 3 or 4 years, we have been on this major upswing of computer popularity. That's because of live streaming. Justin TV being bought out by Twitch, or renaming to Twitch or whatever, and the growth of Twitch and the ability to flip a switch and be live immediately has created a revolution in what's considered cool. We've gotten to the point to where League of Legends was getting tens of millions of views in the regular seasons, and then the championships would get over 100 million views in a day. Insane numbers. Initially, and I'm gonna give obviously the 2 celebrities I've only worked with 2 celebrities. I mean, and they couldn't be more polar opposite if you want to know the truth. I mean, we're talking Terry Crews, former NFL athlete, action star, bodybuilder, GQ model, whatever, you name it, right? Currently the host of America's Got Talent, reached out to me specifically because he wanted to get involved with building a computer so that he could be involved in his son's hobbies. His son was not an athlete, didn't care about any of that stuff. He just cared about his games. And I think Rocket League was actually the game that they played together. So he wanted to be involved with his son. Now I'm not saying that's not true by any means. You want to get involved with your kids, get involved in your kids' likes. Don't make your kids try and get involved in your likes because they're not going to be interested in that. That's just how kids work. I mean, same thing with my daughter. She's super into anime and art, and I have no desire to learn about the two. However, I'm going to take her to Anime Expo when it opens again because she really wants to go. My point being, I always thought when this started happening, when celebrities were like, hey, I want to get into computer building, and I've seen plenty of tweets of celebrities asking, I want to build a computer or buy a computer. What's the best place to buy one? And people always tag me and say, hey, Jay, help this guy out. And like I said, I cannot build a computer for every celebrity out there. I really can't. And to be honest, like I've already said, the last one kind of turned me off on the whole deal, but maybe I would change my mind again if Henry Cavill reached out. He's a little bit of a man crush.
Yeah, he's hot.
And he's hotter with the English accent, not the Superman one, by the way. Anyway, moving forward, A-list celebrities. I always thought that they wanted to get involved in this because they saw the viewership. I always thought it was like, oh, I want to go where the eyes are, so I'm going to go over there. But you know what? You can't fake being into computers and gaming. You can't fake it. Many have tried. Many have tried to create Twitch channels or YouTube channels, just going through the motions that all the popular people do because they want to be popular and get all that fame too. But when you already have the fame, you want to hang on to it. So I was always like, well, maybe they're just interested because they're seeing all those views. And when you have mainstream Twitch streamers that have millions more followers than like mainstream actors, that tells you where we are today. So what I think has happened now is you have a world where athletes, actors, famous people for whatever they're famous for, it's okay to admit that they're a nerd. It's okay because that's normal now. It's accepted because, I mean, you ask anyone under the age of probably 10 now at this point what they want to do when they grow up, and I bet you 9 times out of 10 it has something to do with online media, whether it be live streaming, or I want to be a YouTuber, I want to be a vlogger or a gamer or whatever. Because new media, which is where we are, this is where the eyes are. And the next generation is watching the self-made, at-home voice actor, animator, gamer, whatever it may be. There are some super popular animated series out there that have made it to mainstream because of where they got themselves through new media. And this is currently where we are. This is an intersect of new media and mainstream media. New media always aspired, myself included. When I started growing, the channel started growing, I was like, oh my gosh, if I could get 1 million followers, that would be insane. You know, we're at 2.5 million now, and I'm like, crap, they're finally gonna learn I'm full of stuff, because there's too many of them. But anyway, but we get to the point to where new media wants to be as popular as mainstream. But mainstream realizes new media is becoming more popular than mainstream, so they start doing what new media is doing. Hopefully using their true passions and their true desires to be involved in that particular world. But I can tell you right now, on Twitter, and that's where the intersect is. That's where we are right now. We have now crossed. You've got the Freddie Wongs, right, with Rocket Jump, creating little animated and special effects skits with Corridor Digital and all of them, who are self-made, have now got full-on production companies that you don't see so much of them happening on YouTube anymore because they're working on real projects. Not to say their projects weren't real before, but like big production, big money stuff, because they've passed the intersect into mainstream. And then you've got the Terry Cruzes and the Post Malones and the Henry Cavills. And what I started to say is on Twitter, when you're verified and you have the check mark, the one thing you get is a third column of interactions. And I can see anytime anyone likes, favorites, or likes and favorites, retweets, follows, that has a check mark, I can see that. So I wouldn't miss a tweet from Terry Crews, because as long as you periodically check that column, you see all those interactions separate. So I know how many NFL players, MLB, Major League Baseball players, NBA players, like I said, newscasters, people that work in like JPL even, some folks in JPL, and yeah, I did Kerbal Space program like live once when we were at Dream. Yeah, they saw. Anyway, like I said, actors, athletes, people who normally would do whatever they could to kind of like stay in their lane in terms of what society thinks they are. And I think they're comfortable now with breaking out of that and then showcasing it and being proud of it. If you haven't seen Henry Cavill's Instagram video yet, he is proud. And I had to giggle a little bit. I didn't watch all the video, but I've seen some of it. And, I'm sure people have already pointed this out. When he used the NZXT cooler that has the LCD screen on it, it was upside down. And he actually took it apart to flip it over and didn't realize you can go in the software and invert, flip it. But that's fine. I don't expect him to know that kind of thing because, to be honest, the literature on that's not great. And even Phil and I had a hard time finding that button, but it exists. But things like that, to see him so proud that it worked. He put it together, he RTFM. That's read the freaking manual if you didn't know. But the look of pride on his face and the fact that he's gonna play games and stuff, it's just, you can see it. And the fact that he went AMD with the 3900X says something about AMD as well, I think. I'm pretty sure he bought all those parts. I don't think there was sponsorship involved. I just think this is a great time. There was a time in my life when I was embarrassed to tell people I worked in computers. But we live in such a technologically involved society now that even all the way down to your smartphones, everyone has computers in their pockets. And being involved in computers now, I think, is cooler than it's ever been. You know, one of the things that I was always also kind of embarrassed about when I was younger and growing up, but I'm not that embarrassed about it anymore because you talk about uncool and being a nerd. Not only was I a computer nerd, I was a Boy Scout. And not only was I a Boy Scout, I'm the second youngest Eagle Scout in the district here.
You're like the kid from Up.
I'm Russell.
with all the freaking...
Excuse me, sir. I need the assisting the elderly badge. My merit badge is literally started above my shoulder and ended on my back. I'm not kidding. But you know what that kept me out of? I've talked about the rough area I grew up in. It kept me out of being involved in any of the street crime, drugs, gangs, or any of that sort of stuff. I did not get involved in any of that because I was too busy with the scout stuff. I also have 4 medals. One of them is a life-saving medal. I'm not going to talk about that, but I do have a medal for saving a life at the age of 14. So, and that was one of the national awards that you could get through the BSA. When it comes to medals on Boy Scouts, there's one you get for saving a life and using your training, and there's another one for saving your life while putting yours in danger. Mine wasn't in danger, so I didn't get the honor medal. But anyway, moving forward, things that I would never tell anyone about because I was super, like, just shy about it because people would make fun of that. I still have my medals in a medal display box, and it's something I could never go back and do again if I hadn't done it. So I feel like if you're one of those people that are watching this video right now and you hide the fact that you're a computer nerd, a gamer, a programmer, or whatever, because people want to make fun of you or whatever at school, there was a saying when I was in high school, and that was that jocks may get the girls today, but the nerds will inherit the world. I think we're at that part now where the nerds are inheriting the world. So embrace it. Celebrities, regular people, embrace it. If you have the means to get a computer, do it. And don't be shy about it. Tell everyone about how proud you are to be a PC gamer or a PC nerd. Obviously celebrities are, so there's no reason for you to be shy about it. Anyway, just want to make this video putting out a positive message regarding computers, and I would like to personally welcome Henry Cavill to the World of PC Master Race. And if you're interested in a Witcher build, you know where to find me. And I know where to find you. Ow, on my desktop. Shut up, Phil. Everyone's cool but you. I know a thing or two about working with those people.
You want to do that line again? Can't act like him though.
Oh yeah? Now when it comes to building a computer for celebrities, I happen to think I know a thing or two about building a computer for celebrities. I happen to think I know a thing or two about working with celebrities. Boba Fett! Boba Fett! Where? I can act. I can act. I happen to think I know a thing or two about building computers for celebrities. Use that take.